Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. Let's talk about thyroid disorders today. Okay, so the most common thyroid disorder we come across is hypothyroidism, right? So this often is associated with symptoms like sudden weight gain, constipation, a lot of hair fall, then feeling very tired. Women often tend to have irregular periods, you're more sensitive to cold, these kind of symptoms, right? So, to understand, the management of this condition, first let us understand what's happening behind the scenes, how exactly our thyroid hormones are getting produced. Okay, so now the thyroid gland, firstly, is a butterfly-shaped gland in the neck over here. Okay, and this gland, when it is signaled by the brain, so your pituitary gland, which is in the brain, will release something called TSH, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone. When this TSH is released from the brain, it signals the thyroid gland to produce T4. Okay, so this T4 is the inactive thyroid hormone. Now, for a body to actually utilize that thyroid hormone for all the different functions, it needs to be converted to its active form, which is T3. Got it? Now, firstly, for the body to produce T4, once it gets the signal from the TSH in the brain, it needs iodine. Okay, once only if that iodine is present in a proper quantity, then that T4 will get produced. Yeah, so we often hear, right? People who have hypothyroidism, they are specifically told to consume iodized salt. Then they are told to avoid goitrogens. So goitrogens are basically, foods which will compete with the receptors for the iodine. Okay, so these are cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, right? So because these may block your iodine, it may not allow your gland to produce T4 properly. Okay, so now this T4, how is it getting converted to T3, which is the active form? This is basically happening in the liver, and for this conversion to happen properly, it needs a good amount of zinc and selenium. Okay, so the focus is often given only to iodine, but zinc and selenium are also equally important. Okay, so zinc you can find in your nuts, seeds, sprouts. Selenium also is there in nuts, more commonly, more specifically the Brazil nut that has a good concentration of selenium. Okay, so if your liver is compromised in any way, if you have fatty liver or your liver enzymes are messed up, that can actually impact the conversion of T4 to T3, because this is majorly happening only in the liver. Got it? But when we get diagnosed with hypothyroidism, so how are we usually diagnosed? So our TSH will usually be high. Okay, and your T4 and T3 would be on the lower side. Yeah, because now these are low, the brain has to constantly signal the gland, right? You need to produce more, you need to produce more, which is why the TSH ends up being high and the T4 and T3 end up being on the lower side. Okay, so how this is managed is, of course, the dietary changes with usually, unfortunately, the focus is on iodine that we are told. And along with this, we are given a medication. Now, this medication basically contains synthetic T4. Got it? So yes, this will work. Yeah, but you may need much higher doses. So see, usually you will be started with the lowest dose of T4. Then after some time, the doctor will recheck your blood test to see, if that has helped. And if it still hasn't helped, the dose is increased. Yeah. But you have to understand that, of course, to get the desired amount of T3, if that conversion is not happening from T4 to T3 well, we'll keep needing more amounts of T4. But is that the solution? No. The solution is to look into why that conversion is not happening properly. So either you may be deficient in zinc and selenium, or your gut health or your liver, the function of your liver would be compromised. Okay, so these things also need to be looked at. Now, what destroys the thyroid gland directly? Chemicals, toxins coming from the food, from our environment, these can directly destroy the thyroid gland. Also, certain medications. Okay, so these will directly impact the production of T4. Then, if you're very stressed or if there's a lot of inflammation in your body, that can also impact this entire cycle of TSH, T4, T3, all of the things.